Let's talk about Sonic the Hedgehog 3. I just this week watched Sonic the Hedgehog 1 and 2 for the first time to get ready for this, and then went and watched Sonic 3 yesterday. And you've watched these before. I know you and your kids have watched them, right?
Yeah, I've seen the first two a ton with the kids.
Nice. Yeah, and you took them to see Sonic 3. I saw the picture. Very nice.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we're going to be giving a score and talking about it just overall without any spoilers, and then we'll give a spoiler warning and go into more in depth of the movie. But yeah, Alex, if you want to give your score first, and we can also talk about Sonic 1 and 2.
I personally think that for me, each movie gets better and better. I loved the first one. I saw it, in 2020 when it came out. Yep. I would give that a 6 out of 10. I thought it was better than average. On our scale, 5 being average. I think it was a better than average video game movie. I was pleasantly surprised. And I remember when the trailer first came out, it looked like that ugly Sonic. I don't remember.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. And they listened to the fans and changed it. And I wonder if they would have kept that design, if this would have gotten to 3 movies or not.
I kind of doubt it, but I'm glad they listened.
Yeah, no, I am too. That's the one, they listen to the fans. And ever since then, I think the fans have kind of trusted them to make these movies because they're listening. And you can kind of tell it reflects, in the movies. But yeah, the first one, 6 out of 10. I thought it was a great start. Second one, I thought it was even better. I would give a 7 out of 10. And the third one, I thought for me, it was even better. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. So kind of each one, in my opinion, got better and better. And specifically with the third one, getting in details with that, they brought, my favorite character in all of Sonic, Shadow.
Yep.
And I thought the action, again, improved. There's a ton of Easter eggs, of course, in this. I thought the acting was good. Jim Carrey kind of playing double time. He was great in it. Keanu Reeves as Shadow I thought was perfect. It was fun. It was just a fun movie, and the acting was good, and it was heartfelt, and they did keep the main point of Shadow's backstory. They changed it a little bit, but for the most part, they actually kept in his kind of origin story per se. So I'm glad it kind of got into the heavier themes a little bit, and a little more emotional. I thought they did those scenes great, and yeah, I really, really enjoyed it, and the kids loved it too. These movies are ones that adults like us can enjoy, and kids. So I think they do a good blend of it all.
Yeah, for sure. I think my scores are pretty much exactly the same. I thought Sonic 1 was really fun. I didn't even see it, so obviously I didn't really expect much from it. So I gave that one a 6. I thought it was a good start to the franchise. Kind of human heavy, and not as good of action as the later ones. So I didn't think it was as good as the other ones. I agree with you. They just keep getting better and better in my eyes. Sonic 2 was better. It had, more characters, better action for sure. I really enjoyed that movie. I gave that one a 7.
They did Knuckles good too.
Yeah,
in that one.
Knuckles was good. I thought the voice acting casting for all those characters have been great. Sonic, Knuckles, Tails, all those have been really spot on. And then Sonic 3, I really enjoyed this movie. All of the characters were great. The action was even better than the last one. The pacing was good. It was very fast, but it works for this movie.
No pun intended.
Yeah, gotta go fast. And I thought the writing was handled really well. There was a lot of really funny moments. There were also some really heavy moments that going into this movie, being a fan of Sonic, I kind of know what happens. And I was a little worried, how are they gonna broach this subject? But they did a really good job. It has a lot of heart. They handled some mature themes really well that works for both kids and adults. And dude, Jim Carrey is such a good Robotnik. I was laughing so much at him in this movie.
He's so good.
I don't know if that character was played by anyone else, if it would work the same way, but having Jim Carrey play that part is just so good.
Yeah, seriously, if there's any other actor, I feel like these movies wouldn't be held as high.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Jim Carrey elevates it, man.
Yep.
Perfect.
Sonic Adventure 2 is my favorite Sonic game, and this kind of just felt like watching a live-action version of it, and it was great. This series has been great, and I think it just is going to keep getting better, hopefully, because this one did.
Yep. I mean, and they already confirmed the Sonic 4. So,
that's cool.
So, shoot, who knows? And of course, the post-credit scenes and all that, which we can get into spoilers. I don't know if you stayed for those or not.
Yep, I did.
Another thing I really liked about this movie is, you kind of hit on now with Jim Carrey. I know with Jim Carrey and Robotnik, a lot of it is kind of slapstick humor, but there is some subtle humor too.
There is.
Especially the relationship with him and Agent Stone. It's just, I don't know, it just cracks me up. But it's also heartfelt too.
Yeah, it is. And I feel like their relationship gets better each movie too. I really liked Stone in this movie.
I did too. And like he's like purposely like melodramatic, and it's
Yeah.
hilarious. But like, oh, it's the characters are so good, and like you kind of mentioned, less humans in this one.
Yep.
But I actually don't mind Tom.
I don't either. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind him, and their relationship, kind of like evolved, father son, and it kind of reflects with Shadow. They're kind of opposites. They even say that in the trailer, right? Like, I watched the trailer. The line in the movie where she's like, he's kind of like you, but with a different outcome.
Yeah.
Like you could have been him pretty much. But no, I thought the parallels of Shadow and Sonic, they did really good. And Sonic, or Shadow, I mean, Shadow is so dramatic and I love it.
Yeah, and they did him well in this movie. They made him so cool.
They did. They made him like look cool, and I love Keanu Reeves, so he sounds good, action's good. Like, and my kids loved Shadow.
Nice, yeah. One thing that's funny that isn't a spoiler because it's from Sonic the Hedgehog 1, but in Sonic the Hedgehog 1, when he's like peeking in the window and watching the movie, it's Speed, and Sonic says
Speed,
something
yeah.
about Keanu Reeves, which I think is really funny. That's when they got him to play Shadow.
And I think in this movie, wasn't there a question that Robotnik asked? He said something about, what was the speed of,
Yeah,
or the
the speed of the bus.
speed, or yada yada. Yeah.
That's funny.
It's funny. There's a lot of kind of like pulp culture. Like even when he called like Shadow Hot Topic, I was kind of getting a chuckle out of it,
Yep.
But yeah, I think you're right. The pacing was great. It was never bored. It was good pacing. Characters are great. This one almost felt like a Mission Impossible movie, but with hedgehogs and
Yeah.
like like a
That's
heist
true.
and like
Yeah, I can see that.
I enjoyed it, and I can't wait for the next one, which we could talk spoilers
Yep.
to get into more. But
All right, so spoiler alert for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Highly recommend go see it. It's a very fun time at the theater.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
just a
for sure.
fun movie.
kids, family,
Yep.
go see it. So yeah, like a ton of Easter eggs in this movie, right? Like,
Yeah.
I thought the whole Chow restaurant
That
was hilarious.
Yep, the Chow Garden. That made me
Yes.
smile. I spent so much time in the Chow Garden in Sonic Adventure and
So
Sonic
did
Adventure
I.
2.
So did I. I loved that. And then, of course, the end credit scene, which I guess isn't really an Easter egg. It's more of a setup. But they had what was it? Robot or Metal Sonic
Metal
or whatever
Sonic.
you call them.
Yep.
Yeah, well, they had a lot of them. And then they teased
Amy Rose.
Amy, right?
Yeah.
Amy. I knew she was going to come in eventually.
Yeah,
it was
I
only a
did
matter
too.
of time.
And she's never been my favorite, but they made her look pretty cool. So
Oh.
if we could get like a cool Amy, I would be down for that.
Yeah, and I'm just curious because I know Robotnik died, but like with these Metal Sonics, I mean, maybe they start playing with like going in the future, like some of the games or even the
Yeah,
shows.
that's
And like
true.
they see like a future like Robotnik or a different timeline or whatever.
And I feel like with Metal Sonic, they kind of kept it open where they could have had him like teleport in and save Robotnik if Jim Carrey does want to come back, and if he doesn't, they just leave
Yeah.
him for a while.
That's true.
So-
They could have had maybe there'll be like a flashback in next movie of like a future Robotnik saving him
Exactly.
like a Metal Sonic or something. Yeah, like sending Metal Sonic. Yeah, so they definitely kept it open enough to where it could be anything.
Did you stay for the after credit scene?
I did. Mhm.
Okay, yeah. So it was confirmed
Yeah.
that what I knew, like there's no way Shadow is dead, but yeah, it confirmed that Shadow's still alive.
Yeah, I knew that too. They're not going to kill Shadow in one movie.
Yeah,
right.
for sure. My favorite part of the movie, this is kind of jumping around a little bit, but when Shadow and Sonic fought, especially after they both got the emeralds, it looked like a
Yes.
freaking live action Dragon Ball Z movie. That action
It
was
did.
so cool.
That's exactly what I thought when I was watching. I'm like, this is Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Them zooming all around the planet, punching each other through mountains. It was so good.
That was awesome, and like the music was really cool.
Yeah.
And of course, when they were fighting the robots in space,
Aw.
they played what's it, Live and Learn or whatever
Yep.
the song's called.
That's the one.
Oh yeah, that got me all pumped and ready to go. They did the little pose together.
That
The
could have been
little-
corny, but it
slow-mo
worked,
pose.
man. That worked so well.
Oh, I loved it, dude. I loved it. I was like all smiles at that point.
Yeah, for sure. Me too.
They didn't play my song, man.
Yeah, I forget
Why-
what it's called, but geez.
Why? I forgot what it's called too, but
But they did do good with the music. They had a lot of songs
of
I did not
course.
expect. But yeah, that one.
Oh yeah, Escape from the City, the
Yeah,
City Escape song.
that's a good one. Maybe
when he's
they're
going
holding
down San
that.
Francisco. Everyone wants that song, man. That song's great, classic.
Yeah, so good.
Some of my favorite scenes were honestly Shadow with the flashbacks.
Yeah, they handled that really well
Maria.
with him and Maria. Yeah, it was pretty emotional for the most part. Like they did not let up on the emotion of that.
No, they did that great. Just those flashbacks of her playing guitar for him, and watching the movies, and he's kind of conflicted. They do like a really good job on that, like with their relationship. And of course, we know where it's going.
Yep.
But I mean, I don't know if an average moviegoer would, a mom or dad that has never played games are gonna be like, oh,
or even kids nowadays that haven't played like Sonic Adventure 2.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I thought they did that great, and I was worried that they were gonna, I don't know.
I was half convinced they weren't gonna kill Maria. Like, how do you do that in a kids? But I guess kids movies
maybe they
are
just take her away or something.
like even Disney movies are all sad.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, like a freaking Scar killing Mufasa.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But they did change it a little bit because if I remember correctly, it's originally was they purposely killed her in the game. It was one of the gun agents, and he has like a revenge arc to find that one gun agent or whatever.
Yeah.
Where in this
right.
one, it was like, don't shoot him.
An accident.
They push him away and it shoots, shoots the explosion or whatever. But still, though, it was still great. And I loved this. I loved the scenes between Maria and Shadow.
Yeah.
Shoot, I almost wish we saw more of that.
Yeah, those were good.
I could have saw more of that and been fine with it. Yeah.
Definitely agree. They set up Shadow very emotionally, and man, his like teleporting around and him, they did his movements perfectly with him like skating. They nailed Shadow.
Yeah, him skating and his teleportation. It was good action.
They even had his gun, which I wasn't expecting either.
Yeah. Like Shadow's so cool. He's like I think he's most people's favorite, right? Shadow. So like they could have easily screwed him up.
Yeah, I'm glad they did not. He's the cool Sonic, like the cooler, cooler, more edgy Sonic.
Yeah, the Hot Topic Sonic.
I also feel like Sonic could have been overshadowed, by Shadow this in this movie, but they did a good job of also focusing on him and Team Sonic. Team Sonic was great, and their dynamic, and the comedy in this movie was really good. Like with Sonic and with Robotnik and Grandpa Robotnik. That was so funny. Some of his lines were so good.
They were so funny.
Like that moment when he's like, yeah, I know, women in the military. And it's like, that actually...
He's like, yes, grandson, I know.
That's a really funny line, but also works for the character who's been, in prison for 50 years. So he's like an old guy.
I love the cheesiness, man. Like with Agent Stone,
oh yeah,
he had to like babysit Shadow, and then he's like, let's go make some guac. And Shadow's just like, revenge guac.
That was such a funny line. Probably my favorite line in the movie, revenge guac.
It's like so Shadow, dude. It was great. And you're right, the Team Sonic aspect I kind of loved. They're still kind of like a newish team, so they're kind of working out the kinks.
Yep.
And even he said, like Sonic says, I'm still kind of working on his team, because he kind of goes off on his own to fight Shadow. The typical, we're a team, but I'm going off my own. Why are you doing that? Why are you going off on your own kind of thing? But it worked. It worked because Sonic needed... It was a good character arc for both. That's why I think I liked it so much, for both Shadow and Sonic. It was a good full circle. Like, they were opposite but the same. Like, I thought it was great storytelling. I thought the movie looked good too, like when they're sitting on the moon, you can see the Earth, and I love that line with Shadow and Maria. What did she say? Like, even when
the light still shines, even when the star is gone, or something like that. Yeah.
Like that's like, I thought that was a really good line, and like it makes total sense for his story.
And it was set up well. It was good. The CG in this movie it just keeps getting better. It looked awesome, and Sonic's moves. In the first movie, my biggest complaint was he never rolls up into a ball really and attacks that way. And they've been adding more and more of that in and making him really feel like Sonic. So yeah, that was good.
So like special effects good, the writing good, fast paced,
surprisingly good. I was not expecting Sonic, especially Sonic 2 and 3. I did not expect them to have this decent of writing.
Yeah, I agree. And having an emotional, you're right. These movies could easily be just some cash grab. I'm trying to think of compare it to a video game franchise that's tried this before.
All of them.
Yeah, that's true.
It honestly feels like the people who wrote this movie and worked on this movie love Sonic and really stuck true to what Sonic is.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could tell they care about the the franchise. And,
Yep.
and again, they had the. I love how each end credit sequence, like it's slowly becoming more and more like modern Sonic.
Yeah, I know. I noticed that too because this one was 3D Sonic.
Yeah, it was like 3D, like still polygon looking 3D.
Yep.
So I wonder if like Sonic 4 will get to like.
Sonic Adventure looking.
Yeah, Sonic. I didn't really notice that until this one. Then I went back like, wait, they are kind of, each one is kind of like more and more modern. I'm like, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Man, I'm so glad I told you to watch these movies because
Me too.
I was surprised you said you never watched them.
Yeah, I mean, they came out during COVID, so I wasn't going to the theater, and then I just didn't
That's true.
really ever go back and watch them. And I think also the whole, like, Sonic looking weird before they changed it kind of just, like, threw it off my radar for a while, but I'm so glad they changed it, and I'm glad you told me to watch them.
Yeah, they're fun movies. Like
Now I need to go watch the Knuckles show.
I will say, Knuckles Show is not as great.
Okay.
It's entertaining, but like, yeah. Well, the problem with the Knuckles Show is it's lower budget, so you don't see a lot of Knuckles for it being called Knuckles. It's funny though; it has similar humor. Like it's still entertaining.
Okay.
It's what's the Wayne? It's like Wayne is the main person. Wayne, which is why in this movie
he has the
gave
emerald
to Wayne.
Gotcha. Yeah, because that was kind of out of left field, but that makes sense.
Yeah, like Knuckles and Wayne, like they become super close in the show, so that's why.
Gotcha.
But no, like what video game franchise goes to like 3 movies, dude? Not let alone 3 movies that everyone loves.
Seriously, I was gonna ask, is this the best video game adaptation to movie as far as length of series? And I can't think of anything else that holds up like this and gets better.
Yeah, like there's some singular game movies that are like okay, but as far as like a trilogy, I don't think we've had a trilogy where kind of each one gets better and better.
Yeah,
in a video game franchise. Like seriously, I'm trying to think, and I don't. Even a lot of the movies that are singular movies, Doom, like that was trash. Tomb Raider wasn't that great.
Yeah, how was the Uncharted movie? I never saw it.
Average.
That's kind of what it looked like.
Prince of Persia. Man, I remember when that came out, I was so excited because that was like when I loved Prince of Persia. I'm like, this could be such a cool franchise.
Yeah,
and that wasn't that great. Yeah, there's not. What is a good video game movie? Do people like Mortal Kombat?
I think in like a campy way, maybe.
Yeah.
Borderlands.
yeah. I honestly forgot about that one.
I've heard Detective Pikachu is pretty good. I haven't seen it though.
I watched that one. It was okay. It was good.
Resident Evil movies. Never really watched them, but that has a lot of them.
Those are my guilty pleasures, but they're not necessarily loved.
Yeah,
Tomb Raider wasn't that good.
I don't think there's really much that holds up to this. Five Nights at Freddy's was just
Rampant, yeah, they're seriously. I mean, I know you have. Isn't there quite a few Tomb Raider, like the older Tomb Raiders with Angelina Jolie, or no? Is there just one?
I think there might have been a couple. I didn't really watch those that much.
I didn't either, but I heard things. So yeah, I think this is definitely one of the better, if not the best, at least if you want to count it like as a trilogy, best trilogy, video game trilogy.
Yeah, and I did want to say, Venom: The Last Dance needs to take note. This is how you do a dance scene. This dance scene was really funny with both Robotniks dancing through the lasers.
It was great. And I noticed they had a dance scene in each movie.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, each movie had its own little dance scene, which I kind of like. So like, I kind of expect a dance scene in each movie now.
Yeah, and it works for Sonic because he does kind of dance in the games and stuff. So yeah.
I'm all for you do it right and it's loved and you care about the character. I'm all for the cheese, man.
Yeah.
Was there any negatives you could think of? Because we've been all kind of positive.
Sure. I mean, it's a good movie and good story, but it's not like anything groundbreaking, I would say. That's probably why I didn't rate it higher. Like, it's just a fun movie. It's not like, oh, you have to go see this. This will blow you away. It's like, if you tell someone to go see it, it's like, you're going to have fun. It's not going to be like groundbreaking, earth-shattering.
Yeah.
Trying to think of any other negatives I had. Not really, because I was just having so much fun. Did you have anything?
I know. No, I mean, I agree with you. That's what I was going to say. I mean, this isn't like some groundbreaking, like, oh my God, this is life-changing movie.
Sure, yeah.
But it doesn't need to be. I mean, it's a great Sonic movie. And I'm trying to think of other negatives too. And
if you don't like Jim Carrey, it might be a little too much Jim Carrey.
This is true. If you don't like that Jim Carrey humor, because this is Jim Carrey humor.
For sure.
I mean, I remember the writers and directors said, hey, just do Jim Carrey. Like, I swear, that's what they told him. And So I think I guarantee you half of his stuff is like improvised.
I could believe that 100%.
So yeah, if you don't like Jim Carrey, you're probably not going to care for this humor.
Probably about
like
half the
cheesy
movie.
Humor.
It is cheesy humor. Yeah.
So if you don't kind of like buy into it, then you're probably going to think it's dumb. Or
Yeah.
if you're not like a huge Sonic fan, you might think it's dumb. But if you like that kind of humor, you might think it's like cute and fun. You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't think of any negatives, man. I had so much fun too.
Yeah.
If I had my one negative is they didn't play my my song and he didn't run down San Francisco.
Yeah, that's true. Sonic 4.
That's my I swear, dude, if I would have heard that, I would give it a 10 out of 10. Sonic 4, it better, man.
Yep.
Tell me that's not the best. I think it's the best song in all of
It
Sonic.
is, yeah.
And that's the best opening in a Sonic game. Oh.
Yes. Agreed. So good.
But
One last thing is, I thought the send-off of Robotnik to Stone was actually weirdly emotional. Like, that was really well done.
it was. It was emotional. It was. I was like, oh wow, like this is good. Like, number one, I didn't want Robotnik to die, quote unquote, I guess, if he's dead. And I just saying Stone because like
He's like yelling at the screen, "Doctor, no!"
I love the dramaticness, man. When him and Shadow are watching that, what is that, telenovela or whatever?
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, Gotham should just kill them both." Some of Shadow's lines just cracked me
so
up.
good.
The more you talk, the more I want to punch you.
He plays that straight man in a comedy really well.
Oh, I love it. And I can't wait to rewatch this when it goes on Paramount.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think that's all I had. Great movie.
That's all
Really
I have.
fun.
Fun movie. And I can't believe we're talking about a Shadow, and a Sonic movie, and I would have never thought
Yep.
of at least being good, I should say. One last thing before we go. I know I said that a couple things. What new characters do you think they are going to bring into Sonic 4? Because, I mean, they obviously already teased a couple.
Yeah.
And I guess Metal Sonics. But what about, like,
So-
what's the name? Rouge or Rogue the Bat or
Yeah,
whatever?
Rouge would be cool.
Or Silver
Yeah.
the Hedgehog.
What about Big the Cat? What would you think about
I saw people say that. I think that would be hilarious. And the second you bring Big the Cat in, you knew this franchise made it. The fact you could bring that in.
True. What about that Robotnik robot you play as in Sonic Adventure 2? I could see maybe something like that. It's staying around like after Robotnik's dead and it coming to life and becoming its own thing.
Yeah, I could see that. Like, I'm looking at some characters right now just on my phone, and man, there's so many. Obviously, we're getting Metal Sonic. That has to be connected to Robotnik, right? They have to be doing like a future plotline or different dimension where Robotnik comes back.
Yeah,
They
probably.
have to.
I think that makes sense.
I think if they do something like that, I think Silver the Hedgehog would, because I believe he's in like a future. Let me look him up.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar
Silver
with
the
Silver.
Hedgehog's friend during the future of Sonic's dimension.
If I were to guess, I would guess maybe Rogue, maybe Cream the Rabbit.
I think, yeah.
Definitely Amy we saw in Metal Sonic. Possibly Big, and then after that, I think they might start getting into like more Silver, some of the other ones that I'm not too familiar with.
Yeah, there's a ton that even I don't know. Like there's a ton, but I agree. I think Rogue the Bat
Or
obviously
Rouge. It might be
Amy,
Rouge. I forget now.
Rouge, Rogue, I don't know, whatever.
I think it is Rouge.
Amy, Rouge, Amy, obviously, Metal Sonic, obviously,
Yep.
and Big, like you said.
Maybe Big.
And Cream the
We'll see if they can pull it
Yeah.
off. I don't think he's very many people's favorite character, but we'll see.
I mean,
Hey, if Big's in, then Froggy.
hey man, Vector the Crocodile. I don't remember Vector the Crocodile.
I think I've seen him, but never played any games with him.
And Espio the Chameleon.
That's where I kind of started falling off of Sonic.
Yeah, interesting. Some interesting, like, is Princess Sally Acorn?
No,
Oh,
not familiar.
interesting. Anyways, it'll be fun to see who they keep bringing and adding and teasing.
Yeah,
They already went big with Shadow and Knuckles and obviously Tails. But there's still some, decent sized ones that people will go nuts over.
yeah. And even though I'm not familiar with them, with how they've treated the characters so far, I'm sure they'll do it well. As long as they keep the same, like, team.
Yeah. So Shadow's going to come back in the fourth movie, right? And kind of join the team.
Yeah,
per
that's
se.
what I would assume. He'd probably show up later.
Yeah, kind of help them out, like, later in the movie. Yeah, they need help. But sweet.
Cool.
Yeah, that's all I got.
I'm gonna go replay Sonic Adventure 2 now.